I bet the episode title made you go, what? What is she talking about? Great, that's what I wanted. You will love what you will find out in this episode today. It's pure gold. So let's get started. I got inspired by the phrase, don't be a seller, be a buyer, through a YouTube short the other day. I thought it was such a fantastic viewpoint that I could not pass on the opportunity to make a podcast episode out of this. So what do I actually mean when I tell you not to be a seller, but instead be a buyer? We have this habit of selling ourselves to other people. This can happen in a relationship, in a friendship, in job interviews, really any kind of situation, especially when we meet new people. We walk into the situation with the mindset of needing to sell ourselves to the people around us, the date, the potential future husband or wife, the possible new best friend, the future boss, or the person that decides if you get hired or not. We think we have to sell ourselves all the freaking time. We don't even realize that we are doing this kind of as a default. It has become such an unconscious and hardwired program inside of us that we can't take another position anymore in such a situation. We would never think about not being a seller and being a buyer instead. It does not feel familiar and therefore doesn't come naturally to us. But that's what I invite you to do today. Don't be a seller, be a buyer instead. There are many reasons why we try to sell ourselves instead of taking more of the buyer mindset, out of a need to be liked, out of a need to be accepted and to belong, out of fear of being rejected, out of fear of what people think of us. There can be so many reasons and they can all be mixed up with each other. The other reason is that this has become kind of a societal mindset, and therefore we have learned this from an early age, probably by observing other adults in our lives. As I mentioned, we don't even know that we're doing it as a default mechanism, as if this is how it's meant to be. The danger or the consequence of this mindset is that we are always on the back foot from what we actually want. We are so busy selling ourselves to anybody around us that we never ask ourselves what we want. Do we want this date to become our boyfriend or girlfriend? Do we want this relationship to turn into a marriage? Do we want this new person to truly be our best friend? Do we actually want this job? We are so engrossed in the act of selling ourselves, in being accepted and liked, that we never think of asking ourselves, is this really truly what I want? You don't go into a shop and try to sell yourself to the shop assistant or the products in the shop. No, you go into the shop to buy something, so you are a buyer first. And generally, you buy something that you like, you prefer, or that you're proud of to gift somebody. You don't go into a shop to walk out of there feeling disappointed, trapped, undervalued, frustrated, or betrayed. But these are all feelings that we can have once we get into a relationship, a marriage, a job, or a friendship. The reason is that it was more important to us to be accepted and liked by selling ourselves than it was to check if the other person or the job was truly what we wanted in our lives. We run around in our lives with these selling goggles on. We look at our lives through the lens of being a constant seller of ourselves. But this is just one way of looking at life. It's just one pair of goggles. And most people, of course, are wearing those goggles, so we believe that we have to wear them too. But we don't. We can take them off and throw them into the trash if we want to. I want to be clear here. You have a choice. You don't have to be a seller in your life. You can decide to be a buyer instead. It's not going to be easy at the beginning to go against that hardwired program of selling yourself. But would it not be worth it to go through a bit of discomfort to finally get what you actually want, instead of getting something just because you wanted to be liked or accepted? Does this not excite you? It even excites me for myself. I have never looked at it from this viewpoint. Sure, I have been much more selective of who I spend my time with or what I choose to do with my energy and my life. But I never looked at it from a seller and buyer mindset. And it truly enhances as well the issues that go along with trying to sell myself to others. So I decided to be very mindful from now on forwards when I get into such situations. I will ask myself if I'm in the seller or in the buyer mindset. I actually have quite a few situations coming up where I can practice this and stop any programming that is still inside of me, telling myself that I need to be accepted and liked by just anybody that crosses my path. I already know that this is not something that I need anymore, but the chance of such programming still being in my subconscious mind is pretty high. Just look around you. For most of us, being on social media means we are selling ourselves. Either we literally try to sell something, or it's just selling a picture of our lives to our family and friends. But even then, we share pictures and posts for the purpose of selling something, selling ourselves, selling our lives, or a perspective of it. What about when we try to buy something that is a bit more unique, like a house or a boat or a unique car? We go into that situation with the seller goggles on, believing that we have to be accepted and liked by the current owner or holder to get, of course, a product. Never asking ourselves, is this really what I want? Does this really tick all the boxes that I'm looking for? And what happens is that you might settle with something just because you sold yourself perfectly and convinced the other person to select you for the house, the boat, or the car. Do you see what I mean? The success of selling ourselves overrides everything. We are so happy that we got accepted and liked that we don't realize that we settled for something that wasn't really what we wanted. And that's when we can feel very quickly disappointed, frustrated, and trapped. If we can, including myself, overcome this programming of being the seller and instead install a new program of being the buyer in our lives, we will get more of what we truly want and be more selective with our energy and our time. Yes, we might need to wait for the right house or partner a while longer than we expected. Or we might have a few lesser friends, but the ones that we do have are giving us more than enough. It's not about the quantity, it's about the quality. But the seller goggles that come from fear and a scarcity mindset don't allow us to go for quality, but rather go for quantity and urgency because there is not enough out there for everyone. But that is another whole topic in itself, which we can go into in another podcast episode. Today, I invite you to take away this new perspective of being the buyer in your life and try it out whenever you get into a situation with new people. You choose the job, the new relationship, the husband or wife, the best friend. You select them very consciously. If I triggered you in thinking about a specific person that you always feel you have to sell yourself to, I dare you to meet this person next time from the buyer's perspective and see what happens. This is going to be such an amazing and fun experiment. I can't wait to apply this new perspective to my life, and I hope you will give it a go too. Thank you so much for watching this video with me today. I hope you enjoyed this new viewpoint as much as I did. And with that, I love you and leave you. Talk soon and bye-bye.